Hello, greetings, and happy Sunday. Yes, we're on early today. Why? Because of the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl activities. Not that people really care about the Pro Bowl, or maybe you do. Do you guys care about the Pro Bowl? Tell me in the comments. I'll probably have the game on, as I'm trying to fix the electrical in the house. Always seems to be a problem all the time. But guys, be sure to hit the like button and throw a comment or question in the chat. That's why we're here to do live firsthand due diligence. And stick around until the end because I will be going over the two new stocks that were recently added to the BFC Discord watch list. And speaking of Discord, click the link in the description and join the Patreon and join this growing community. I hope you guys are having an awesome day today. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to bring Steve in, and you guys pop those questions in the chat. And we're a little lagging a little bit technology wise here, no pun intended. But let's bring him in, the CEO of Artificial Intelligence Technology Solutions, ticker AITX, Mr. Steve Reinharz. Steve, welcome back to the BFC. How you doing?
Eric, I'm doing great. It's good to see you. I love being on your show. I find everything about you is great, and that's why I'm here. I'm here because I enjoy discourse and sharing, but I'm thrilled to be here. So thanks for having me.
Well, yeah, you're a great guest. And you know what? One thing I gotta say, I want to apologize because I'm like, all right, he's coming on the show Sunday. It's great. And I never sent you the link to join. so I'm like 15 minutes before the show. That's what I'm saying. We're getting a little tech wacky here, but I like 15 minutes before the show. I'm like, yeah, you're probably gonna need this link to join the chat. So it's great to have you here.
I'll tell you that I had the show an hour later. So I was looking at my calendar this morning and I was like, oh, it's 12 o'clock Eastern. Okay, I got to bring it in a little further. So one of those mornings, but hey, we're here, and and we got the Pro Bowl later this afternoon.
Yeah. Are you going to be watching that thing or what?
Oh, no, not at all. Don't even really know what it is.
Yeah, it's weird because we had that big snowstorm with 5.5 feet of snow, and there's like 4 feet of snow on the roof, and all of a sudden, throughout the storm, what happens when there's ice up there and there's heat coming from the house, all the water just starts flooding. Like, we need a new ceiling. But now what's weird is the electrical by the door on that side of the house. You're turning one on, it's working, then the other one's shutting off the other one. I'm like, I think water got into the wall.
Oh, no.
So if this is my last broadcast, it's because I got electrocuted. I'm going to play electrician today.
Good luck. Good luck.
So I want to talk about a lot of the things that, you guys have going on. I'm really going to give you the open floor just to share with us what you got going on.
Sure.
And we're going to talk share structure. We're going to talk the recent PRs, but I want to talk about one PR specifically.
Sure.
And that's your most recent one,
Oh, yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. This was very recent, hot off the press. Select Blur. All right.
Yeah.
A privacy-first surveillance video processing application. So why don't you have the floor. The floor is yours. Tell us about Select Blur.
Yeah. I got it open. I'm going to close it right now, but I've had it open on my computer since I got my kind of launch version on Thursday. It was the big story behind Select Blur. There's two stories. The first story is the part I'm going to tell you, which is the fact that a large customer wannabe, like a large prospect, calls us up one day, and they've been super fans for a year, and they've got some incumbent suppliers that we're working to get out of their enterprise, and they love Rad Light My Way. Really, they're in healthcare. Really good. Exactly what you want. And so we're going back and forth. We're talking about our different platforms and stuff. They're super security experienced. And they're like, hey, we've got a problem because oftentimes facilities need to quickly publish video, but there could be patients or staff in the picture that they can't be. Now, this is where it gets fun for us. On the one hand, we could have said, hey, not our game, don't do it, sorry. Go elsewhere. And on the other hand, we could dive in. So we dove in. And what we found is that the solutions that do that are all cloud-based. These guys didn't want to move the video to the cloud. Security risk.
Okay.
Their IT department. So they needed a local processor to do that. And knowing that, hey, this is not something that is out there in this format, and it would help a client, and it would show and demonstrate how, yes, we do write all of our own code from firmware to mobileware and everything in between. Great opportunity to demonstrate it. Then I think to myself, wow, we got more stuff happening in law enforcement with Rad Dog. They need this. We have other clients that need this. And so we greenlit it, put a team on it, and phase one is done. Phase two is going to be done. I don't have a schedule on phase two yet, but phase two does some other little hints and tricks. And then the software will just kind of go on the shelf, be available to everybody. We'll stop dev on it because we'll have finished the problem. But software and hardware tend to have a life of their own, and they tend to always get new ideas and things growing. That's why when I look around, I always, like if I'm evaluating an OTC company, like doing due diligence, or any company for that matter, I look at their profit and loss statement, and I specifically want to see their R&D line. I want to see how big their R&D line is, and I want to see how big that is in relation to their SG&A line. Because if they say that they're a development company, or they say, yeah, we're building this, we're building that, and they don't have anything on that line, that's the first red flag, or one of the first red flags that I would see. So, okay, so that's kind of cool on that. The second thing about I said the second thing on Facebook, which is it's a cool application that will be used by all of our customers. Also, sorry, Eric, one last thing.
No, the floor is yours, man.
It's the only application you can get from us that doesn't require you to take a device. So we're kind of also using it as saying, hey, listen, we got this little app, a few $100 a month. Who cares, right? I know you might be a year away from buying this from that or this from that or this from us. So it gets us in the door. And then from there, we work our magic of relationship building and solutions proving. You know what I mean? So it's also kind of also a sales tactic as well.
Yeah. How much time? I was thinking about this when I was reading the PR earlier. How much time goes into developing the software for these applications?
It all depends. So if we're coming out with another analytic in the next couple of weeks, probably, depending on how it goes. Okay, put a pin in that question, because when we have a software idea, and we're doing this right now, we did it with Face Blur or Select Blur. We're doing it with this other application, with this other applet right now. We kind of have an idea. Either it comes to us from a client or a prospect or an investor in some cases, or internally, or me, whatever. And then we think about it for a little bit. I think about it for a little bit, and we draft up some preliminary marketing material on it, which we don't distribute. But what we do is we put it in front of a few potential prospects, and we could do like a little mini one-on-one focus group. And because no prospect is going to say to you, hey, if you build it, we will come. If you're in Fortune 500, you can't say that. You could say, if you build it, we might come, but there's no commitment. And I've been down this road before in terms of developing products that people said they wanted, but they never bought. I'm a little more cautious about it now. So if we do our little focus group, one-on-one focus group, and we kind of get a good feeling of confidence, hey, we can make this work, or we can spin it to work if it needs some adjustments. Then we bring it into our dev team, and we kind of have a dev working session where different of our senior lead devs will talk about it. So that'll be an hour-long call with some senior guys on the call and me. After that hour-long, and this is exactly the process we went through with Select Blur. And then after that first hour, which has maybe 5-6 high-end folks on it, one of the folks will become the captain of the project or the quarterback of the project, and then they'll start saying, okay, we're dividing it up this way. I need these devs. So we've got different teams that have different specialties. We got front-end guys, back-end guys, GUI guys, these guys. And so tickets will be created, put into their workflow. The quarterback will be managing it, putting it together. There'll be a QA guy running the software, testing. And so everything works together. So we track all of our projects and developments to the hour, like attorneys. And I can technically go in and open up the app. It's Jibble. We use Jibble for that. And I can technically go into Jibble and see how many hours exactly we spent on it. But largely, to answer your question, after a long-winded, detailed explanation, we probably had about 10 people touch it in some meaningful way, pushing it forward, either from the low side of, hey, answering a workflow question to, writing the underlying code. Probably 10 people touched it over 3 months, 2 months, 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
And we're working full time on it. And that's because we have a lot of code already done. So it's not like we're writing it from scratch per se.
Okay.
We already have a lot of the bases. We're bringing pieces in. And that's the beauty of having your own R&D team, where we can just throw these things out and spit them out quickly at low cost. So
Yeah.
how was that for an overly full answer?
That was a loaded answer. So we're gonna get to our comments section, guys. Make sure you ask Mr. Steve Reinharz anything you want. This is an open chat. All right, we're
Yes.
gonna go with one from the great Jord Hugga with large orders in and more to come soon. When do you predict the subscription model will allow large profits than operating costs?
Oh yeah, for sure. So Jord, it's always good to see you. I was glad to meet you on the last one, to the extent that we met. So good to see you again. Uh, I mean, this year we're pretty focused on hitting our operational positive cash flow, right? So that's been stated. It's in our statements and filings and everything like that. What that means is at that point we are going to probably be at a good company size. I'm figuring about 100, 110 people in that point. But maybe a larger proportion of assembly people than we've had traditionally because we're pumping out units, right? Um, I mean, I expect, right, hazarded by all of the ifs and hey, things are moving targets and read disclaimers and blah 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 blah, all that stuff. Um, Different models that I have show us throwing off healthy profit, healthy operational profit next year, if not by the end of this year potentially, but within that time frame. And the numbers quickly become staggering.
Right on. As that progresses, and I do want to address some of the elephant in the room. I know for the people watching, and let's talk about the share structure. It's heavy. You have those. You're almost approaching maxing out that 10 billion authorized. And I know this is on people's minds. The last time this stock was split, specifically AITX, was March 27th of 2020. It was a 10,001. How confident can you say you are that you're not gonna go past that 10 billion? What are the realistic? I don't know. What it in a. I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. Is it realistic to commit to a no reverse split at this point?
I have committed to a
I know
no
you have.
reverse
I know you
split.
have. But
Um,
looking down the line, do you think this profitability and is going to help address the share structure issue in the future?
yeah, so just getting my thoughts together on this, just for the viewing audience. Eric and I had no prep, and I like it that way. I don't want any prep. I like just being asked the question and given my complete answers as I have a tendency to do.
And what's funny is I said, well, I always like to do a skeleton to the show just so I have something to go by. And I go, Steve's been on the show enough. I go, I'm not preparing anything because I've read the press releases and the DD is there. And I know we talk often, but it's nice. It's nice to have you on the show. But yeah, that
Let me
addressing the
ask,
share structure. I mean, that's something that's always on the forefront of people's minds, especially when it
as it
comes to
should
their
be,
investments.
as it should be. Yeah. So I'll say a couple things. First thing is there's never been a reverse split done under my authority as a CEO, right? So let's establish that.
Mhm.
What has been done under my authority is repeated corporate filings restricting us from doing a reverse split. So now that that has been said, let's talk about two other things. The first is the existing share structure. We're approaching 10 billion in outstanding, which is our max authorized to this point. There's no way that I can say that we won't exceed 10 billion. Okay, there's no way that I can say that. My attorney would have my head. I'd be breaching my fiduciary duty. The
Yes.
reason is that I can't predict the future. Okay, I can have different plans and I can plan around it, but I can't predict it. So me making a statement like that causes me liability if that indeed happened. So I'll share as kind of another response on that is that over the course of let's say over the course of the last year, okay, maybe we've increased the outstanding 50%, 75%. I don't know. Okay, in that range, probably plus or minus over the last year. Let's call it 75% for fun. We've increased monthly recurring revenue by 500%. So I will make that trade as an investor every day. Oh, I'm going to give you some money. And instead of you pissing it away or, just dumping it into some black ops project, you're returning 5 times growth? Yes, I will do that. And that's, I think, why we've managed to maintain a trading range in a particular channel, so to speak. Although I'd like it to be a lot higher, and although I do believe it can be a lot higher, and I'm very excited to see what happens when we make the announcement of 700,000 or operational positive cash flow or 1,000 units delivered, or bringing on any number of new super large customers that'll push us over the top.
Mm.
We have a lot of catalysts that can get us there, because ultimately, for me, I look at the market cap of the company. And what are we sitting at right now? I think you've got your OTC markets open.
We're at 25 million.
Okay, $25,000. Okay, great. $25,000. So the method I use is a 40 times EBITDA in terms of what I think our true Wall Street valuation will be if we go to NASDAQ. So I'm thinking, and this is where we start spitballing and speculating, and where I could get into trouble, because the problem with CEO speculating is that investors can interpret that as plans or expectations, which creates liability. So that's why, guys like you, guys like George, guys like Look for the Helpers, guys like Sam Aker, where they sit down, they run their projections, and they do that. It's much they have to do it. I can't really do it. But I can say that, being operational cash flow would distinguish us above so many others in the OTC. And when that happened, if that happens, God willing, this year, okay, I have to always say the if. People are like, why do you say the if? Say the if because I don't have a crystal ball and stuff happens, right? I'm not worried about it. This is the reason you have a disclaimer on your box of Cheerios, right? Might contain peanuts. Well, they've been making 1 billion boxes of Cheerios. There's no peanuts in them, but they still have the disclaimer. So we hit operational positive cash flow, and we want to talk about a reverse split, right? We know that our path is to get to NASDAQ. We know that our path is to get to NASDAQ with low debt, great profitability, cash in the bank, and strong growth rate. This is it. This is every company wants to do that. We know we have to be at $4 to get onto NASDAQ, or even to apply to NASDAQ. So I said in the no reverse split filing, I said no reverse split unless we go to NASDAQ. Okay. So we know that. So thinking about it going forward, hey, investors need to think about, well, how's he going to get to 4? Is he going to just do a single? Is he going to do a couple along the way? How's the messaging going to be? Is he going to equalize the OS to the AS so there is no more dilution? Is he going to raise more private money and pay it off? These are all questions that I know everybody who follows us wants me to tell them what the plan is. I want to tell you what the plan is. I truly do, but I can't, because there's like a tree of plans, and I don't know which one we're going to go to. What I can say, what I always say, is that, hey, we're on the right track. We're doing the right things. And if fundamentally things work out, retail should always win. That's why we're here. That's why you're here. And retail has won with AITX in the past. I've built too many real relationships in the OTC to not spend a considerable amount of time thinking, how do we make sure that retail wins when we uplist? And I've said before that too many companies take these overnight pipes that crush the stock the next day. And I will not do that. So.
Reinharz, thanks for answering that question. I'm going to go right down the line. I know George did ask, and he followed up. Would you guys? I know it's based on. I can't really say. I know you can't say, just based on what you told me. Just for legal reasons, would you consider if you reach that extreme profitability, to buy back a certain percentage of the shares? So if you did had to do an RS to get to the NASDAQ, it would be less impactful on the retail shareholder.
Absolutely.
Right
so
now.
let's play out that scenario. That scenario is debt is sorry to check the dog. Debt is way down. Debt is way down. profits are just coming in, and we're clearing, our EBITDA is like, targeting 40, 50%, just crazy profits are coming in. Debt's largely gone or it's about to be gone. We're getting undervalued in the OTC. That is one of my triggers for the NASDAQ update, for the NASDAQ uplist, being undervalued in the OTC. If our retail shareholders and myself, if I don't feel at that point that we're being properly valued, and I have look who's here. What's going on there?
Puppy dog.
What's going on there? Yeah, your birthday last week. Okay.
Happy birthday, puppy.
Happy birthday. Okay. So if I feel that we're not being properly valued on the OTC, i.e. the market cap that you showed up, if I feel that we should be at a 400, 500, $600 million market cap using that calculation of 40 times EBITDA, and you guys can do the math to figure out what the sales would be for that, then I would absolutely use cash to work to get the OTC value to the right point, because I need the OTC value to be at a certain point before it's effective for me to want to uplist. So there's a lot to it, but yes, buyback would be one of the ways to do it. 100%.
Yeah, right on. I'm going to just keep getting these questions out. We got one from Michael Singleton. Steve, if money was not an issue, where would you like to take AITX and RAD?
Yeah, I love that, Michael. And Michael, hey, man, I appreciate your support along the way. I see comments on YouTube and so forth, and thank you for that. Man, I tell you, I feel often like I'm in a straitjacket, with handcuffs and leg clasps on. It's just how I feel, because like I'm out last night and I'm talking to this guy who runs a plumbing company. And, a lot of conversations I have, they turn to me saying something like, your job is going to be replaced. And the other person's like, it's not going to be replaced. I can't be replaced. And it was like, yeah. And I talk about how it can be, right? And I talk about the fourth industrial revolution and how the world's changing, all those things. He's like, well, I'm a plumber. I runs a plumbing company. I'm like, okay. I was like, you got to look at it from the fact that, hey, there's a lot of different tasks that a plumber does, that an electrician does, that a bricklayer does. To use AI, you don't have to replace that whole task. You have to pick off tasks, high volume, high frequency, low value, low cost tasks, and you bring intelligent automation to those tasks. So it's just an example of me saying that I look around, I can't not see ways to bring intelligent machines to perform these tasks and help revolutionize our world. So how do I feel, Michael? I feel completely constrained by having to limit myself, my creativity to just security right now. My financial guy who, we owe $30 million to, no big deal. He's like, I was like, hey, and listen, I want to get you paid off. I'm thinking of just riding, these few products and slowing back on these products. Let's do this, and I give him all kinds of stats stuff. And he's like, no. He's like, you named this company Robotic Assistance Devices, and you named the company Artificial Intelligence Technology Solutions. You need to fulfill that and go way beyond security. And it was the right words that I needed to hear at the right time. So, Michael, long answer as usual. I plan to go well beyond security as finances allow.
Right on. And yeah, Michael has been a great supporter. Shout out to you, a member of the BFC Discord and a member of the BFC fam here for a very long time. So shout out to you.
Hope everybody is. It's a good place to be.
Oh yeah, like we're building a really sound community. I really like it. And
I will share though. I will share, and I could do this. I invest very badly. Like, just understand, I'm an operator, I'm an issuer, like I'm a business guy, like I create businesses, ideas, bring them to the market, sell stuff. That's what I do. That's my skill level. Trading, terrible. Haven't put any time into it. No, nothing. I know how to do DD. That's about it. So there was a Buffalo Fireside ticker that I bought.
Oh boy.
I'm down like 98% on it. It's epic.
Really?
I haven't told my wife on it. I don't know. I could tell you what it is.
It wasn't IGPK and it wasn't IFIS.
It was not either of
You
those.
bought the wrong one.
I did. I did. It was. I'm just pulling it up right now. What is my position? I'll give you my. It's sad. It's sad. But like folks who think that I don't, know what we go through, I feel it. I'm out there. Okay, where is it? Sorry, this is just funny just to share with you.
No, it is. We've all, as traders, and I'm speaking to my community now, we've had bad entries. Hell, I've made mistakes trading. And that's the whole thing about our Discord is to minimize your risk, to really dig into the due diligence to the point where you're hopefully not going to lose money. I mean, the whole thing's a gamble. Like we all know, like when you put your money in the stock market, in any part of the stock market, it is a risk. But I think that the knowledge that we're acquiring is when to invest. Like during this economic pullback, everybody's freaking out and this and the other. Well, that's it. This is when you want to invest. When they say buy low, sell high for a reason. So while everybody's panicking and holding their bags and down 98%, I'm taking it as an opportunity just to load up on the good companies.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everywhere. I totally do. By the way, I'm down 98.32% on this stock. And it's a shit show. It is a shit show of a stock. And it was really you and Sam Aker. And I was like, oh shit, Sam said good things about this. I'll take a look. Sam put him on. Okay, I'll take a look. And I was like, the worst way to do DD. The worst way. And now I'm sitting down 98 points.
I'm trying to think which one I covered. That was down 90. Probably ILIS.
Nope.
No, not ILIS. No, because ILIS is definitely bounced back.
Yeah, that was like, there's a bunch of.
We're excited for that one. That is going to be that they're doing a lot the right way now, and it's good to see what they're doing. But hey, text it to me.
Sure, I'll text it to you. I'll throw it in the text chat.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, I've definitely, and anybody that watching, I've definitely haven't made perfect calls. Nobody does. Anybody that says I get them right all the time, that they're lying to you.
Of course, they're lying to you. And anybody also.
I like when those spam bots they post, my account's up 14,000% every week. Same, it's like get out of here,
Get out of here.
And you hear about a lot of people's successes, but you don't hear about don't mind the screaming. It's always a screaming in the background. somebody took a dive, but you hear about the successes. But like for everybody's like they have heavy green days, and you hear about that. You don't hear about people's losses, and right. So that's the truth. I'm honest. I'm 100% straightforward with my portfolio, and I'm going to be doing. In 2 weeks, a portfolio review.
Wow.
So that way I could show exactly what I've been doing. And it's transparent for my Discord, which I'll be doing in the Discord, not on the YouTube, but in the Discord where we do live chats. By the way, George says he's going to be doing a call today at 3 p.m. in the BFC Discord. So, and I'm also going to be putting another ticker in there today that has been added to the watch list that the Discord doesn't even know yet, but I'm adding it on, and let's keep going with the questions here.
Hey, Eric, I texted you the ticker just for fun. You can say it if you want. I don't really care. But I will also say that Eric knows this, but for the rest of the audience, it's like
I'm not in it. That one is, we could quote, shit show. And I'm not going to say the ticker, but it is 100% agree. 100% agree. And if you follow Sam Aker, he has definitely worked on that one in depth.
Yes, he has. Yes.
Now I've covered that one. I've never put it on my watch list, but I've watched from afar, and I've been eating the popcorn and watching.
For the record, okay, Eric knows this, but for the rest of the audience, Eric knows that I have like a trigger on talking any other ticker ever because I am all AITX all the time, and that's it, right?
Well, you were supposed to be on the show, and you text me, and you're like, take me off for next week. You go, take me off for next week. Too crowded. And I go, because I'm all AITX every day, all day, whatever. And so I text you last week and go, how about let's have your all AITX day?
I love that. And we actually slipped in a couple other tickers, which isn't the end of the world.
And when Steve leaves, don't worry. We're going to talk some other stuff too, guys. So definitely stick around. But hey, you know what? He's protective over his stock and his company. And I get it, wanting to set yourself apart from everybody else.
Everybody's watch list should just be AITX. That is, in my opinion, this is the only stock you should ever have to watch, period. But hey, don't listen to me. Remember, I trade like crap.
Oh, man. All right. We got a question from Extra Cash 2. Hello, Steve. Do you consider Rio superior to LVT's product and why?
Yeah, by and far superior. So that is an easy, quick yes. And the why is also, I'm not gonna give you the easy answers because we've got Rosa on top,
Hmm.
whereas they got a crow's nest of some cameras and flashing lights. We have been winning jobs on Rio because of Rosa. Rosa is the accumulation of years of work and tens of millions of dollars of software building and iteration. We've got Rosa 4.0 coming out, which is NVIDIA based, hundreds and hundreds of units out on the street, working on 3,000 unit Rosa production run, right? Because if we're going to build 1,000 Rio, I need to have 2,000 Rosa for the Rio, and I need to have another 1,000 Rosa just for our standard Rosa and Rosa P business. So big, big, big numbers. It is because of Rosa. It is because we have a different view and paradigm of how security needs to take place in the future, of how autonomous remote services is the way forward, as opposed to being forensic or being primarily human monitored. So having advanced analytics, advanced interactivity, and expanding on that with Rosa 4, that is our ticket to success. We also have a price advantage over LVT. We also anecdotally hear that we are way better to deal with than LVT, and just a host of other related reasons. So do we feel that we're better than LVT? Yes. Do I look at the industry going forward as I call it a duopoly? I'd like to move into a duopoly position with LVT. There's 35 small manufacturers of towers, and then there's LVT, which is the overall big gorilla in the industry. And then there's eCam Secure, who's a partner of ours, who make towers as well. Their partners primarily go to Garda customers because they're a division of Garda. I don't really consider them as one of the huge outbound players, but I do expect, my projections show us as being, primarily competing against LVT, and we're going to be ramping up that over the course of this year.
Right on, Extra Cash 2. I hope that answers your question. Let's take a look at the chat even further. Oh, this is funny. Zachary Binks, why are you drinking out of a mason jar? Well, I'll tell you why.
Me?
Because
Oh,
I
you.
forgot me. Yeah, I forgot my BFC mug in my car. That is why. Shame on me for not sporting the merch mug. By the way, you guys got to check out the merch. It's great. Love the polo. I brag about it. I go, I think I have one of the coolest logos in the OTC and stock community. Now I'm just bragging. I'm not knocking anybody else. I'm very proud of the work that Rob has done, and I'm proud of the work that Sam has done with the store. So guys, check out the merch. A lot of you guys have been ordering it. It's really high quality. The mug is actually really high quality, believe it or not. I was worried that, because it was made in China, that it would not keep heat or cold, but it has done a very, very nice job. So yeah, I give it the double thumbs up right now. So all right. Oh, here we go.
I do, though, Eric, think that drinking coffee out of a mason jug is a very hardcore Buffalo style move,
Well, I don't know. Like I use the mason jar all the time, just because
That's what I'm saying.
you can get so much water in this thing too. It's just like, I mean, it's a Buffalo thing to do. It is, man. And don't worry, I'm not going to crack any Tim Hortons jokes yet.
Come on, now you're just making me jealous. I can't get Timmy's where I'm at here.
Yeah. I haven't had it in a long time. I'm trying to minimize the coffee, but yeah, there's one now on every corner. Believe it or not, I actually used to work at a Tim Hortons 23 years ago. It was one of my first jobs, and it was fun, but it's changed. I feel like it's changed, definitely changed. Now I'm just starting. I'm sounding old now. It wasn't like it when I was a kid,
When I was down there.
When I was young. Barry the Great has a question for you.
Sure.
Barry, welcome to the show, man. Sorry I'm late, but any government contracts? If so, how much of sales are government, and do you see that growing?
Hi, Barry. Nice to see you. It's funny, I answered this question, because I get, different forums, different times. I answer the question, and, people say government, right? And it just as a huge blanket. And I'm like, okay, well, what government, right? We've got all kinds of governments here in the United States, and then we've got NGOs, and we've got, groups that are associated with the government. For instance, ports, are federal, but generally owned by the city that they're in, and so on and so forth. So government is a huge catch-all. I will say that we have government business developing in law enforcement, okay, which would be a division of government. I would say that we are starting to organize ourselves to go after municipalities, primarily based on the success that we're seeing in downtown Cleveland.
Hmm.
So I'd say that we're focusing on that. I will confirm we're not doing anything with the feds. We're not doing anything at the state level except for 2 states. We have some hooks in on 2 states that just hired a new lobbyist for one of the 2 states. Previously, I've had lobbyists working for us in Los Angeles and New York, and those efforts fell flat. So I cut them, and that's it. So people look at the feds, largest customer in the world, U.S. federal government, and they're like, "Wow, man, everybody needs to get a piece of that, right?" And I'd like to get there. There are some divisions in the federal government, particularly Federal Protective Services, that would be well suited to our solutions. So I hope that answers your question. I'll just finish it off with we don't have anything against working with the government. We have a strong preference to work with people that can give us money quickly, and the government do not fall into that category, generally speaking. So, Barry, I appreciate that question. I hope I answered it completely, and if I didn't, give me a follow-up.
Right on, Barry. Always good to have you on the show. Burger King ruined Timmy's. George says Timbits are the best. And Gregory asks, "Whoop, any synergy between AITX and
Guys,
EPLS?" That's good.
why are we even asked this question? I could
Often.
go on a 3-hour rant on DPLS, okay? Come on, people. Like, I see positive comments on DPLS. I want to shake you guys. Look at any press release or any tweet or any comment. Come on. Like, I gotta calm myself down because I want to piss in someone else's Cheerios. But what the heck are you thinking, guys? My God.
I had to
My
throw that up
God.
there.
Look at revenues. Look at share structure. Look at claim after claim after claim. Come on. I do not know why the SEC isn't all over that guy.
Crazy stuff.
Too much.
Blue Golden, as an investor, I'm curious about the comprehensive strategy. How does the company plan to maintain competitiveness in the evolving landscapes?
Yeah, we plan on leading that landscape. That's how. We plan on maintaining a 2 to 3 year technical lead. We
Hmm.
plan on capturing the biggest customers. We already have seats at the big tables with me on SIA, Mark on ASIS, right? So we're on the 2 big groups that steer the industry or that provide steering information to the industry. We are going to be embarking on a very disruptive track, and that track should start later this year or sometime this year is what I expect, where we're going to be getting very aggressive in the space and shaking things up. And then at that point, we will kind of, in my mind, maybe next year, year after, depending on revenues, really be in a strong position. But the industry will scramble to catch up, and we'll see where it goes from there. Right? It's a battle. It's business. Business is a constant battle. So yeah, we plan on having a technological lead. We definitely have a thought leadership lead.
Hmm.
We have a customer service lead. Now what we need to do is take the sales momentum that we have right now, keep it going. So, we can start hitting, $100 million in annual recurring revenue, $1 billion in annual recurring revenue. Those are my goals. Thank you for the question.
Right on. I hope that does something for you, Blue Golden. And we're going to take another question, and then I'm going to let you enjoy your Sunday. You know what I mean, man? So, all right, Jord, go figure. That's actually a good question. This guy always has questions. Shout out to Jord. He's been a BFC contributor for almost 2 years now. How are your internal processes shaping up in regards to production of units as company keeps scaling up? That's a great question. I was going to ask that too. You stole my thunder, Jord. What the heck?
Hey, Jordan knows what to ask. He's got his finger on the pulse.
He does.
Listen, I will pitch everyone to watch yesterday's AITX YouTube weekly video, okay? Because I touch on that very specifically, and I'll give you guys a recap here. Should still watch it because it's cool. There's a lot of info. I've got a lot of great feedback on that one. People are excited, but we're going into. I look at growth as steps. It's steps. It might flatten out on a curve over time. But when you're in the muss of it, you're sitting with your executive committee. You're like, hey, we're going to double production. Well, that's a step. That's not a committee meeting where you're saying, I need to add 3 guys to the assembly line. We're growing in steps. So we're actually doing that right now. I call the process outlining the next chapter. So we're outlining the next chapter right now. We're obviously starting to write the next chapter, but the last chapter hasn't finished. So I'll tell you what we're doing in this new chapter as we outline it, because you're running and writing at the same time. So we're in this new chapter. First thing we're doing is doubling our line level BDMs. We've got 2 new, national account managers or whatever title we're giving them starting this month. So we go from 2 to 4, plus Troy managing them, plus Mark selling some stuff and me selling some stuff. So that's step 1. We got to feed the machine. So I need the tip of the spear healthy and strong. So that's number 1. And we're doing other things, reinvigorating dealers and so forth. So on the demand creation side, a lot going on there. But the next thing is with production doubling, we're making some moves on the production side. Very specifically, Luke, who has been our production manager for the last couple of years, is going to move into more of an executive vice president role. We have some, long story short, is we have some internal shifts moving on because we got to get a different production manager in there. Luke was never meant to be the production manager. We had to dismiss a guy. Luke had to step in and do the role. And he did it so well that he kept on doing it. So we talk about outlining the next chapter. We talk about leveling up. So, Mark is going to shed some of his duties, be more industry spokesman, pushing the narrative. It frees up a little bit of my time. I get to do more work with retail, more work like I'm doing right now, just spread the word, prep for NASDAQ. Other opportunities abound inside. So yeah, we're looking at bringing the company from about 80 people we're at right now to about 110 sometime next year. Over the next 18 months is where I think that we'll be. But I have a town hall meeting tomorrow, and we have them every month, usually at the beginning of the month. First Monday of the month is usually when we do internal town hall. And I'm going to, one of the points on my list is that is reminding the team members that the better that they can get, the more efficient that they could get, the better ideas that they could bring in for optimization, the lower headcount we can maintain. The lower headcount we can maintain, the quicker it is to reach positive operational profitability and start throwing off profits to write our balance sheet, number 1. But number 2, the bigger the pot they get to split when we have an event or when their options and warrants vest. So they have a vested interest. And I think that got forgotten along the way. So I want to remind them of that. I want to very much maintain as small an organization as we possibly can, with all the redundancies that we need. But I want that pot to be as big as possible for them to split. And I want our overhead expense to be as low at the same time.
Right on. Thanks, Jordan. And let's give you one more question. Actually, this is a good question. Will AITX get into drones? Any aspect of it, especially like the software. It's, what are you guys looking into in that aspect? Or are you even looking into it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We've toyed with drones over the course of our development history. We had a version of Romeo that has a slide out tray and the drone flies out, right? Which I still think is a good idea. The reality is, my expectation would be we would acquire a drone company at some point in the future versus going from dev. We've missed some of the early years of dev time on it. And if we're going to be serious in that market, we're going to have to acquire versus do self-dev because it'll take too long. So I'd rather just spend the money on an acquisition.
Got it.
Company, yeah. But no, drones are absolutely in the future picture. And it goes back to Michael Singleton's question earlier. What else would you like to do? Well, I'd like to do drones.
Right on. Well, the great questions. Great questions as always from the BFC crew. Seriously, I want to thank you for joining me here on this awesome Sunday morning, and really early morning for you, Sunday afternoon out here in Buffalo. But Steve, always a great guest. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the family that you've created. And last parting wishes that, hey, now next time somebody asks about a collab with another OTC ticker, you might have a sense of the type of response that I'll give.
But hey,
Thanks.
you know what? I'm thinking about having an AI slash cybersecurity type of ordeal going on this summer. It's going to be a roundtable, and we're also looking forward. So I'm hoping that you'll join us in that and do a
I would love
presentation
that.
for us.
I would love that.
I'm thinking about Rick Jordan's going to come on, hopefully from YCRM.
Love that
David
idea.
Lee, a lot of the players in the industry, and so we're going to make it very up your alley, as
Yep.
opposed to it's going to be industry based. And we're also hoping to put together a BFC conference that's going to be live and in person in Buffalo. So I'm going to keep everybody in the loop on that, and I'm hoping to have some great presentations, and it's going to be a good time. So, but we'll
I
see
love
where we end up by the end of summer. We'll
I
see.
think so.
It's going to be
I love
exciting.
participating in your world, Eric, and I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. You do
All
great
right,
work.
take care, brother. Now get out of here.
All right.
Always a good guest. Always great to have Steve. So guys, great question. So I'm glad you're sticking around to the end. We added 2 new stocks to the watch list in the BFC Discord. I'm going to get into those in just a second. Shout out to everybody that has been joining me on these Sunday live shows. This has been excellent, and we're just going to keep doing what we do here at the BFC. We're going to keep bringing in management teams, CEOs. It's this is what it's all about. And it's even great. I've gotten to know many of you personally on a personal level, over the phone. I tell you, if you would have told me 2 years ago that I'd be talking to people all across the world and many across the United States here, many of whom I plan on meeting you in person someday when we have our BFC conference, and it's gonna be freaking awesome. But when we do it, we're gonna do it right, and it's gonna kick butt. It really, really is. But I've had the chance to talk with you guys in the BFC Discord. And it's just been nice to build this community. And I wanted you guys to know that I truly appreciate you. And so that's that. Unfortunately, I just want to let you guys know Rob is not here with us today, so I'm manning the station by myself. Unfortunately, his father is in the hospital. So keep that guy in your prayers. And shout out to you, Rob. Let's get on to Paul McKinley Art is here. All right. Richard, great seeing all you guys here. Gordy, Gary, Michael, great questions today, Michael. Well, you usually give good questions, man. So let's talk a little bit about these 2 new ones. All right. Now, first one, ticker FLES. Now, I'm really excited about this one. All right. Check out these security details. It has a market cap of 250,000. That moved. Outstanding share count, 8 million shares. You could just think of this thing and it moves. We made entry in this one this week. We posted that in the Discord. As a matter of fact, Brett Rosen mentioned it on the channel when he was on a couple weeks ago. And so I did some digging into it. And I'll tell you, I'm pretty damn excited about this one because this thing moves quickly. And I anticipate we had 2 higher volume days. I wouldn't call it high volume, but we had higher volume days Thursday and Friday. And I think that we're going to be moving some volume in. And just so you guys know, the CEO is going to join me on the show February 18th at 7 o'clock. That's when I'm going to be doing my portfolio review and a watch list update. And so CEO Chris Davenport, there it is. He's agreed to come on the show to do a live Q&A. So make sure you guys show up and ask any questions that you want. This one I'm looking as a medium hold, and that's just me. Let's take a look here. This was one of their recent PRs. Not recent PRs, I'm sorry. Their last PR, I should say. So this is why I want to ask, what's the company doing? Where are they going? Where are they going to achieve their maximum potential? Where do they see themselves? I know there's a whole story of them. They were supposed to go to the NASDAQ. I did have a pre-conference with the CEO already, and he's going to share all the stuff with you. So make sure you come to that live show on the 18th. But this was their last PR. It talks about basically their app or their website that they launched. And some of you have already actually been on it in the Discord, and some of you had some not great things to say about it. So I don't know where they are at in regards to the platform itself. Some of you did like it. So we're going to ask those questions to the CEO directly. The tweet that somebody put out there, when I mentioned this ticker, it was Madamus OTC. Seriously, man, I even spoke to him on the phone and had him telling me whatever he could to get me my money. Look at this. So he posted the filings. Well, I get it. I know we're looking at a net loss, minus 6 million, but they have cleared some debt. And so for me, this one, I'm looking at it from a medium hold. This just within the last 6 months, this thing was 28 cents. And so I want to learn more about the company and what their plans are. I'm not going to just look at the balance sheet and be like, all right, this sucks because of the balance sheet. I want to know the story behind the stock. Why is the balance sheet the way it is? What are they doing to correct course? And what's their plan for the future? And I'll tell you right now, for 8 million shares in the OS, and this thing is at a couple pennies, count me in every day of the week because I think this thing is going to go on a tear. And as you could see, this is where, we had like my little doodlings on here. I didn't feel like typing things out. But yeah, it shot up to 4 cents just with some of us buying. And this thing moves really quick. So this is one that you're going to want to get in. If you want to get in, this is not financial advice. Remember that disclaimer I put in the beginning of the show. All right. I'm not telling anybody what to do here. So yeah, no, that's what we're doing. We're doing the first-hand due diligence. So I like the stock, and I'm gonna flip it probably for medium hold, give or take. We'll see where it goes. So if you were in the Discord, you got alerted to that one this week. And by the way, I have another one that I'm going to be putting in there today. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how my Discord crew likes it. Next one is SAPX. All right. SAPX has a market cap of 1.5 million, 3 billion authorized shares, and 2.1 billion outstanding shares. Recently updated. And this was their Twitter. Now they're fairly active on Twitter. We are aiming, this was back on the 16th. I'm going bottoms up. We're aiming for this week to get SAPX PR out. All right, let's move on up. For those inquiring about the SAPX website, we have rendered it to a blank slate so that incoming parties can shape it accordingly. All right, so that's exciting. So they're going to be basically doing everything all over. And so, yeah, just looking at this stuff, you guys could read. It's exciting, to see what they're bringing in. I know they have some movie deals. And so they just posted this tweet too. And see, on the 24th, let's see, we are still waiting final approval to announce details of the initial SAPX LOI. We're still expecting to release the update this week. And their most recent tweet, we're en route to meet the attorney face-to-face and get this SAPX deal wrapped up. Updates to follow. And that was on the 31st. So something's happening with this right around the corner. I think that, when we look for these 000 plays, I think this is one you definitely want to have on your radar. I know they're working on movie deals. Let's see what they bring to the table. But, they had some high volume this week. And I say for a 000 play, I think that maybe this could be one of the runners of 2024. So it's definitely on our watch list. Chart-wise, who knows where it's going to go? All I know is that it looks like there's a new floor here at 6. And so maybe you can swoop in and grab some of that. Maybe you don't want it. Who knows? Do what you want. But if I make a move on this one, it'll probably be this week sometime. And I'm going to try and just throw some bid support at 6. I'm not going to get slap happy with this one because I want to learn more from the company. Just like same thing with the other one. I'm not, I've got to play safe, but I'm also willing to take that risk and have a little fun with some of these stocks. So, all right. Let's take a look at the chat. Ronnie Replay. Got alerted. Yeah. Got alerted to 150% gain. I mean, like seriously, and that's the kind of plays we're going for in the Discord. And that's what I'm going to look for is low float, striking them when they're down and out, and then waiting for that volume to spike in with news. That to me that's going to be my methodology and my plan for 2024. And so we are hunting for those stocks that have really tight share structures that are vocal on the Twitter and with their PRs and stuff, and are willing to come on the show. That's why I'm excited in my pre-conference with Chris Davenport of FLES, I could tell he's very excited about what he does. He's passionate about what he does for a living. So he's going to share that with us, and you guys are going to be able to pick his brain and say, all right, is this an investment for me? Do I want to trade this a short term, medium term, long term? And it'll be for you to decide. So, like I said, thank you, all of you, for being here. I appreciate everybody that's a part of this BFC, this BFC crew, the BFC family, you know. But man, oh man, I'll tell you, I gotta fix the electric today. You know, I gotta fix. Yeah, so if I look different, like it's the electricity. I'm gonna play electrician. Why not? We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna go to the Home Depot. Gonna go to the Home Depot today. So, oh man. All right. Well, that's all I got. I hope you guys have a really great week ahead. IGPK, we're just waiting for some news there. That thing looks like it's going to go through the roof. FLES, I'm looking for volume to keep ticking up there. And we'll see how everything else goes. We're waiting for ILIS news. Going to be big. We're waiting for that CE to come off of CYBL. I mean, these are just a couple of the tickers that I've covered. But, man, I'm telling you, I am just like really digging 2024 so far. So January was great. February is going to be even better. And it's going to be a phenomenal year. That's all I got. You guys have an awesome week. And remember, there's more that binds us than breaks us. Peace out, guys.